Hello, MrCris2101. How are you? So, listen, you made a fool of yourself, okay? So, let me help you understand. You were talking about light bending on a curve and appearing straight plane. And then you started beating up the back of a car to show. Here's the problems, plural, with your analysis. When we talk about light curving, um, we're speaking of light being curved over a large distance near a very strong gravitational field. And even though you don't accept gravity as being real, you cannot change the explanation that globe believers and scientists and others have described. So you can't sit up here and ignore part of the argument that is made and then try to debunk it with the missing information. So that's how you made a fool of yourself. But in addition to that, you are comparing a reflected light on a surface with light that is moving across space directly, not reflected. So what you are seeing isn't even light being isn't even light being curved. What you are seeing is when you put those dents in the car, if you were to zoom in and magnify the area that is dented, you will see that the position of the metal is no longer perpendicular to where you're standing, but in the area where the dent is, the metal has now changed its slope so that the metal is facing more of an up and down slope in that particular area where the light appears to be bent. And so what's happening is the light is still straight, but now it is bouncing off of the sloped or altered direction of the metal in that particular spot. And that is creating the effect that you see as curved. This is the same as when you see the shimmer of sunlight on waves in the ocean. So just so you know, you have to be able to distinguish your optical observations to make a coherent argument. What you did was you tried to oversimplify the entire thing. And I get it with you flat earthers and with you right-wing nut jobs. You guys think that you can be cynical and sarcastic and just go, oh, hey, look, it's as simple as 1, 2, 3. That's a form of ignorance. Your unwillingness to learn more about how something works is as stupid as you pretending that you're a doctor and to remove a cancer is as simple as cutting it open and then using a knife to cut out the cancerous tumor, and then we're all done. Okay? This oversimplification of knowledge is a form of ignorance. And you are contributing to the ignorance of children and of people who, if they were to use your approach, would at best make a fool of themselves in a classroom, and at worst could design things that have so many flaws that they could be dangerous, they could be ineffective, they could become a waste of people's money and time. So just saying, why don't you try to be a little bit more effective? Because, I mean, you build cars. If some idiot were to come in and say, oh, making a car work is as simply as putting the tires on and pressing the gas and putting gas in the tank. And you would have to explain to them the complexities of making sure that the different parts in the engine work, that different aspects of the car's wheels have to work, whether it be the axle or the different components that work with the axle. You don't just say, oh yeah, that'll work, and then they say, well, hey, if you were to try to make it sound more complicated, that's part of a conspiracy. That's a conspiracy from the car organizations to make us duped into thinking that the cars are more complicated just to trick us. That's how you come across when you are dealing with the laws of physics and trying to make the science look like it's not honest, because it's not as simple as you'd like it to be. So I think we're all set here. Can't wait to see your next video where you make a fool of yourself.